What's up, everybody? This is Sean. This is my second video. This one's going to be on the BCS, or the BS standings, previewing this week's matchups, 4 big games, and also projecting who I think is going to be in the championship game. I think there's about 7 teams right now that have a legitimate shot, but we'll go through that in a second. Quickly, if you haven't seen my first video, it's on the Rangers American League Championship Series against the Yankees. Not the greatest. I did it at like 1:15 in the morning, so it's the audio kind of sucks. But I did predict the Yankees to lose in 7 and the Phillies to win in 6, and both of those look like they could happen right now. So we'll see where it goes from there. Now onto the BCS. Start out at number 15 and go up. We got Iowa at 15. I think they're definitely better than the 15th best team. Oklahoma State, Wisconsin, Stanford, Missouri, Ohio State, all have a loss, except for Oklahoma State at 14. Utah is undefeated. Alabama lost to South Carolina. Michigan State, LSU, TCU, Auburn, Boise State, Oregon, and Oklahoma obviously are all undefeated. Oregon's number 1 in both polls, actually every poll, but they're number 2 because of the computer rankings. Oklahoma's 1 up basically on every computer because they played Florida State, Air Force, and Cincinnati at a conference. Right now, who's where doesn't really matter because there's so many games left, but Oklahoma has a pretty easy schedule. They go to Missouri this week. They do play Oklahoma State, and they're going to probably play Nebraska in the Big 12 championship game. Those are 3 losable games. Those are 3 top 16 teams right now, but Oklahoma could go undefeated. I don't think they're that good. I think their defense has a lot of leaks. Landry Jones in a big spot can be beaten. So I think Oklahoma's going to lose a game. Oregon, their defense is probably the worst of any of these teams up here, but I think LaMichael James is going to win the Heisman at the end of the day. And or Cam Newton, who was amazing to watch. But Oregon's offense is so good, so dynamic, especially if their quarterback Thomas is okay, which I think he is. I think Oregon could go undefeated. They got to go to Oregon State, but they're all winnable games for them. Boise State will be undefeated, but will the computers keep them up there, and will the humans keep them in the top 2? I don't think they will. Auburn is 4. Auburn has 2 tough games. LSU's not that good, but I think that you have to say it's a tough game. They're undefeated. And then they go to Alabama, which is going to be unbelievable because Alabama's not losing until then. I don't think Auburn's losing until then. So it could be like number 4 versus number 5 in the country at that point. So that could be amazing. TCU has to play Utah in Salt Lake, which is going to be a great game. But even the winner goes to the BCS now because so many teams have a loss. The winner that's going to be undefeated. But the winner that does not play in the championship game, I don't think TCU or Utah has a shot for the championship game. I don't think either one of them can pass Boise, and it's not going to be TCU versus Boise for the championship. So Michigan State is 7. They have 1 tough game at Iowa, which I think they'll lose because I think Iowa's the best team in the Big Ten by a lot if Stanzi plays well. And that Michigan game was kind of weird this week. They kind of gave it up, but they held on. They won it. So that's the important thing there. They survived in advance, and they're 15, but they lost to the 18th ranked team in Arizona, so they didn't lose to like Appalachian State or something. So, or like James Madison, like Va Tech did, unfortunately this year. But Michigan State, I think, will drop. Alabama's going to finish higher than 8, even if they lose to Auburn at home with 2 losses, both in the SEC. I think they might finish higher than 8. Especially if they beat Auburn, they run the table, they have a shot for the championship. Utah is 9, they play TCU. Both will probably be undefeated at that point. Ohio State still goes to Iowa. All their other games are winnable. They don't play Michigan State. Missouri plays Oklahoma this week and then still has Nebraska, still has Kansas State. So some tough games for Missouri, who's undefeated. Stanford's 12. They played Oregon. They still got Oregon State. A lot of those games out west are, losable games for them. Arizona. So they'll probably lose another one. They'll probably be 10-2 and just miss going to the BCS, I think. Wisconsin, I think, loses to Iowa this week, and they go off the national little radar. Oklahoma State plays Nebraska at home. Interesting game. Their wide receivers have a heck of a year. Every week he's getting 120, 140 and a touchdown. So, he's top 5 in the Heisman right now. And then Iowa's 15. My predictions for the BCS have changed every week, but I think it's pretty solid right now. I think the championship game is going to end up being Oregon and Auburn. I love Auburn, and I think they're going to beat Alabama in a dogfight. And the SEC championship game is going to be a joke. Whoever the West champion is going to roll South Carolina or Florida, whoever gets there. It's going to be an embarrassment, that game. So I like Auburn to win the SEC championship, jump Boise, and Oklahoma to lose a game. So Oregon plays Auburn in the championship game. Boise State will take Oregon's spot, I think, in the Rose Bowl, and they will play the Big Ten champion, who's going to be Iowa. Michigan State might get an at-large. I'm going to predict that they will. After losing one game, they'll be 11-1, probably like number 11 in the poll or something like that. So Iowa plays Boise in what I think is a very good game. A lot of people might not, but I think it's a very good game in the Rose Bowl. The SEC number 2 team takes Auburn's spot in the Sugar Bowl, and I think that's going to be Alabama. They could play anybody at this point, but I think the intrigue of putting Michigan State and against Nick Saban is going to do that there. So I think it'll be Alabama, Michigan State in the Sugar Bowl because Fiesta's going to get stuck with the Big East. They had the Big East last year. They're not going to take Florida State because Florida State's going to go to the Orange after winning the ACC. So I think Florida State then will play TCU, I'm going to say, in the Orange Bowl. And that'll be a fun game. I think TCU will be undefeated. Florida State's lost one. They might lose one along the way, but I think they'll beat Va-Tech in the finals of the ACC. Then the last game is the Fiesta, where the Big 12 champ will play West Virginia. And everyone's going to say Oklahoma's going to win the Big 12. I think they're not that good. So I think they lose this week to Missouri. Missouri ends up winning the North. The South will go to Oklahoma State, Oklahoma winner. I think Oklahoma wins that. Missouri comes back with Blaine Gabbert and beats Oklahoma for the second time. So Missouri plays West Virginia in the Fiesta Bowl. So that's very interesting matchups. Basically all teams that are in the top 10 now, except Iowa and Florida State are 15 and 17. Missouri's 11. Everybody else in the top 8, I think, except number 1, Oklahoma, gets to a BCS Bowl. So that's how I see it. Anything could happen. Oklahoma is the favorite to win the championship because of their schedule. They're not going to move from number 1 if they don't lose, and they have an easy schedule. But I like Bob Stoops, but he's just crazy sometimes. So we'll see. Quickly throw another little thing here on the baseball, and then tell you about my next review, which will be coming up hopefully Friday. Baseball, the game 1 was killer for Texas. They had the game 1, but as I've heard on radio and TV and online, who knows if they lost that game? If they won't come back and win game 1, so they'd be in the same position. But there's a heck of a job by them winning game 2. Nice comeback. Beat the Yankees at their own game there. Outpowered them, outpitched them. Hughes was an embarrassment. So I barely watched. I was watching football, but I was following on the computer and then watched a little bit of the recaps. And so Hughes was bad. Tonight's game's gonna be huge. If Lee goes out there and wins the game, they have a chance to win one of the next 3 to get it to 7. If Lee loses, the Yankees are going to be in the World Series. So tonight's a huge game. Got some WWE action tonight. Got Chris Johnson against Maurice Jones-Drew tonight too. So interesting night there. And so in the NLCS, I thought the Giants had a chance last night. Oswald was good, but they were giving him. The guy was giving him the corners. The Giants were giving him too much respect, taking pitches. I think the Giants win 2 out of 3 at home and then have to come back and win 1 on the road. And can they do it? They can, but I don't know if they will now. That was a big game last night. Go up 2-0. I think they win to 1-5. My next review will definitely be on Paranormal Activity 2. I loved Paranormal Activity 1. I wasn't overly scared, but I thought it was really intriguing. So I will see that hopefully on Friday if it comes to my town. If it doesn't, then I'll have to wait. But that'll be my next review. As I said, hopefully I get some subscribers. I'll preview the NBA. Maybe not everything on every team, but maybe like the top 15 teams or so, because there's really only about 3 teams that can win the title. But top 15 teams or so. Give a little bit of love to each one. Love watching Oklahoma City. They're awesome to watch. So if you want to review on any TV show, I watch all the big ones, The Event, Hawaii Five-0, Fringe, love those shows. Basically watch them on demand because I watch sports at night, but this is like 10 minutes now, BS. So anything you want, I'll throw a wrestling video up there if someone wants it. Give me a comment. If you want something, I don't care what it is. Want a review, want a preview, want my idea, I love to give my thoughts. Throw it in the comments. Thanks a lot. And Oregon, Auburn for the championship. That'd be a great game. So fun to watch that game. Hope it happens. See you next time. This is the BCS Recap.